Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into one of life's biggest mysteries, love. And believe it or not, we're going to use a surprisingly simple but really powerful blueprint to help us map out pretty much any relationship. I mean, that's the big one, right? It's a question every single one of us has probably thought about. Love can feel, magical and amazing, but also super chaotic and, let's be honest, sometimes just plain confusing. But what if there was a way to actually understand it, to see the structure underneath it all? Well, a psychologist named Robert Sternberg thought so. He believed that underneath all that complexity, love could actually be broken down. So he created a kind of map, and that is exactly what we're going to explore today. All right, let's get right into the good stuff. So Sternberg's whole theory is built on just three core ingredients. A really great way to think about them is like the primary colors of love. You can mix them together in different ways to create every possible shade of a relationship. Okay, first up, we've got intimacy. This is the emotional heart of it all. It's that warm, fuzzy, comfortable feeling you get with someone you can tell absolutely anything to. This is your deep friendship, that mutual respect, that feeling of being completely and truly seen by another person. Next, we have passion. And this is the engine. This is the heat in the relationship. It's the butterflies, that intense feeling of, I have to be near you, the romance, the physical chemistry. It's the spark that just makes you feel like you can't get enough of someone. And our third and final ingredient is commitment. Now, this is the more cognitive part, the conscious choice. It's the decision to say, hey, we're a team. It's about sticking together when things get tough and, actually planning a future, building something together. You could almost call it the anchor of the relationship. So, just to recap, because this is so important, we have intimacy, that's the warmth. We have passion, which is the heat, and we have commitment, the decision. Remember these three pillars because literally everything else we're about to talk about is just a different mix of these three things. Okay, so we've got our three ingredients. Now here's where the real genius of this theory comes in. It's all about how they combine, like a recipe, to create totally different kinds of love. And this chart is where it all clicks into place. Just look at these combinations. If you only have intimacy, you get liking. That's a great, true friendship. If you only have passion, boom, that's infatuation. That classic high school crush that feels so intense but doesn't last. But it gets really interesting when you start mixing. You add intimacy to passion and you get romantic love. That's the stuff of Hollywood movies, right? Now check out companionate love. That's intimacy plus commitment. This is that super deep, comfortable bond you see in couples who've been together forever. The initial fiery spark might have cooled down, but that friendship and the decision to be together, stronger than ever. See, every combination tells a totally different story. So, that brings us to the big one, the ultimate combination. We've seen what happens when you have one or two of the ingredients, but what's the recipe that has it all? What's that masterpiece at the very bottom of the chart? So, what happens when you actually manage to combine all three? When you have that deep emotional warmth and that fiery spark, and that rock-solid decision to be a team, all in one relationship? Well, you get what Sternberg called consummate love. This is the goal, right? A relationship where all three corners of that triangle are strong and balanced. It's that complete love so many of us are hoping for. Basically, a passionate romance with your absolute best friend who you've also decided to build a whole life with. But, and this is a really big but, here's the catch. Consummate love is not some trophy you win and then you're done. As Sternberg himself said, it takes constant effort. You have to actively work at it. You have to keep nurturing the intimacy, finding ways to keep the passion alive, and reaffirming that commitment. It really is true what they say. Love is a verb. So why does any of this matter to you? Well, because this isn't just some dusty old theory. It's an actual practical tool, a blueprint you can use to understand and maybe even improve the relationships in your own life. And you can put it to work in three pretty simple steps. First, just think about your own relationship and identify which ingredients feel strong right now. Second, use that to understand the current shape of your love. And third, this is the most powerful part. It gives you and your partner a shared language to talk about things. You can go from a vague, kind of scary, we need to talk, to something really specific, like, hey, I feel like our commitment is so solid, but I'd love to figure out ways to bring back some of that early passion. What do you think? It becomes a tool you can use to build something together. And that really leaves us with one final thing to think about. Instead of just asking yourself, am I in love? Maybe a better, more helpful question is, what shape is your love? And even more important, what shape do you want it to be?